One.
All right, well, today we're going to be covering some basic shading techniques. Drawn up some little basic objects here, a little sphere and then a cone. Some important tips in shading. You always got to remember your light source. Normally, you're not going to be seeing lamps everywhere, but I'm drawing some lamps here, telling us which direction the light's going to be coming from. One of the ways I really like to shade here is called cross hatching. It's using like little vertical lines and lines to create your shading technique. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the sphere here. Draw that in. So you want to always start with your heaviest point being farthest away from your light source. So that's why I started down here at the bottom like that. And most shading is about going to go about 50% up the object. So you want to make sure that it's nice and covered all the way across. Just bringing them in heavier and heavier each time. So it's starting to come together a little bit. You want to make sure to hug that hard edge of whatever object you are shading there with the darkest and heaviest lines. Well, let's try to stay with the shape of the object, bringing it more and more up. With my pen also, I'm starting with a heavier stroke at the when I initially lay it down to the surface of the paper, and I'm pulling up as I'm coming across, kind of like that motion. A little flick of the wrist. See, it's already starting to come, get it shape. Push it up here, 50% line. The camera person kind of gets all over the place here. And I also like to stick the ink down really heavy there. Get your fingers into the work a little bit. Push that ink around and create a nice little fog effect to it. And of course, you also want to play with different techniques and so forth, trying different things. Give that nice solid wall to it. And there you have it on the sphere. Now here on the cone, I brought it in from the side here. So the light source is going to be on this half. We're going to look for a little bit of 50%. So it's going to probably come to about here. We're also going to want to remember to put the back shading in here. So I'm just going to use this subtle flick of the pen. I'm not really going to do much cross hatching on this. We're just going to put kind of a daytime shadow around here. Make sure to have the shape of the object. So that guy in now. Go a little heavier along the edge, of course, like I said. Up to the top. Now these lines aren't really cut straight. I am curving them a little bit so they kind of give that cone feel to it. And second tier coming up the other way. I'm not going to bring out quite as far as the first of that under. And it should give it just this nice effect here in a moment. Come together. And I'll just set it there. Self guidelines. Through here. And there you have some basic shading there. A little bit on the edge of the bottom of the cone here. Get some more texture in life. And shading works great in any drawings and stuff, of course. Always, though, remember your light source, about 50%. I run about 40, 45 in all honesty with the dark versus the light. So 45 dark, 55% light. And just remember your light sources and stuff. And yep, and we'll be back later on, and you guys can go ahead and look at subscribing. We'll be doing a lot more art projects, doing some other tips and so forth. So have a great day. Until then, just keep practicing.